Welcome back,
Welcome back to Footage, the podcast. We're here with Errol Martinez.
Andrew
You're
Stein.
the ones and twos.
I'm spitting hay all in the mic.
Spitting hot fire.
It's probably not good with like the Delta variant going around, like spitting.
Yeah, spitting hot fire
But,
is probably
yeah.
not what you want to be spreading.
But we're not utilizing the same mic, so that's
No.
good.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
We're 6 feet. I'm pretty sure we're 6 feet apart. I wouldn't know. I'm less than 6 feet tall, so I wouldn't know what 6 feet is. Can't say I've ever experienced it.
Oh,
It's all right though.
well, there's that.
Yeah.
So this is funny-ish, and just open micers talking about open mics,
Yeah,
comedy.
Talking about open mic comedy. It's been a big couple weeks for both of us, I think,
Oh yeah,
because you made your triumphant return back to the live comedy stage
Wow.
in dramatic fashion.
it was so fantastic. I probably picked the best mic to go back to.
I think you did, because it can only go up from there.
It could only go up. I don't have to say which one it was.
No, but you will, right?
No.
Okay.
I think if you're listening to this, you understand
You
which.
probably know which one. You could
yeah.
probably do some like investigative.
You should
journalism.
know. Yeah, you should know which one it is. It was bad.
It was not good.
It
I
was not
there.
good.
We actually, that's the first time we've seen
Yeah.
each other out at a show since the pandemic, which is.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I feel bad because I did leave early to go to get to another mic.
No, that's an open mic
Right.
type thing. Like you do your set, and then if you got another set, like go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, yeah. And I hate to admit it was better.
Ah.
Second set was better, but
I'm sure it was. I mean, it was nice to get out there and do an open mic, but it's one of those things where it wasn't. I don't think it was a supportive mic.
yeah, that's an understatement. Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that that just I don't think anybody ever wants there to be comedy there to begin with,
Right.
and the fact that there was made them upset.
I don't think anyone wants anything there ever because it doesn't look like the type of crowd that enjoys stuff.
Yeah, yeah, they really enjoy spinning virtual slots.
Yes,
but
virtual
that's-
slots and there's
and
yeah.
the golden tea.
Wow, we just called out this place hard.
Yeah, they can do. I think they can figure it out now. I think they know.
But
yeah, this episode's not coming out.
yeah, there's always room for improvement for mics, for a lot of mics. Coming back, I would have to say I would probably pay for a spot than wait 3 hours.
Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that. But you got to do. Well, I don't think you had to pay, but you did have to
No.
wait a couple hours for a spot.
Yeah, it's one of those things where do you want to wait? Do you want to pay? A lot of people want you to support the bar, so because they get a
Yes.
percentage of the bar.
Yeah.
But there's no guarantee of when you're going, how long you're going. It's just a random type thing. And their algorithmic mind, like, oh, you get 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. I know you. You get 10.
Yeah.
And I'll come back and you go last.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know you, so you go last and you get 2 minutes or
Yeah.
whatever that like mathematical equation ends up being.
It was a good set, though, to brush off, to come back.
No pressure. We'll
There
say that.
definitely no pressure. It was a very easy environment.
It's pretty easy when no one's there.
Yeah, I had one lady laugh at my jokes, so
Okay. All right.
listening.
That's already better than what I thought.
Yeah.
It couldn't, like, my expectations couldn't have been lower, and you exceeded them. So,
Someone we've gotten rid of this episode is the rundown, just because there's so many mics coming and going.
yeah, we've both decided that neither of us actually know what open mics are happening right now, and we're not. I thought I was an expert in open mic comedy, and clearly I'm not.
Because it was last week, everything was shut down. Last week or the week before?
Yes. Last week everything was shut down for
COVID.
COVID.
Someone
We'll just say that.
someone was positive.
Someone was positive, who will remain nameless.
Right.
And it was just, so a lot of shows just didn't happen last week. Although I still managed to do shows last week.
That's good.
Amazingly. Because I happened to it was the 1 week I'll say this, I don't get booked on shows often.
Hmm.
But when I do, it ends up being 4 at a time. 4 or 5 at a time. I'll just get booked all in a row. And they'll all be the same week. And that was last week.
That's pretty sick.
It was cool. It was a good week for me.
Yeah.
'Cause,
You'll have to do that on the other podcast. This is only about open mics,
Oh,
not about
sorry.
books. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
I'm kidding.
The-
Go for
the
it.
Funny podcast, not
Yeah,
funny-ish.
funny-ish.
We're actually graduated to funny by
Yeah.
the next podcast.
I've been booked, so I'm funny. No, talk about it. Let's talk about your booked mics.
Okay, so I did the same open mic you did on Monday.
Mhm.
That was my Monday night, and then I did a second open mic afterwards. And then Tuesday, I decided to take the night off because of our little COVID
Right.
situation. And then Wednesday night, I did an out of town
Ooh.
little run with a few other comedians. Noel Appling, who's been on
Yeah.
the program,
We
friend
know.
of the program.
We know him.
Well, know him well. And then Miguel Osornio. The three of us packed up and headed up to Chattanooga,
Awesome.
Tennessee, which, if you live in Atlanta, you know that's about a 2-hour drive. And so we went up there, did 2 shows there. We did the Comedy Catch, which is their comedy club. We did their open mic. And then afterwards, we did another open mic at just a bar show. It was, so we went up there. We actually ran into 2 other Atlanta comics while we were there who just happened to be doing it the same night.
Doing the same thing.
Same thing. And it was super fun. The first, I'll admit, when you go up to another city and you go to their comedy club, you're like, well, the comedy club's going to be, like, amazing. It's going to be super cool. This is going to be the best. It's definitely going to be a better show, 100%. And then we got there, and it was cold. It was very cold. And it wasn't even, like, when no one was there. It was probably, like, 30, 40 people in this club, and no one was laughing. Nobody did well.
Wow.
It was a weird show where, like, the hosts didn't do that great. The people who were regulars didn't do that great. All of us from out of town didn't really do that great.
The crowd didn't do that great.
The crowd did awful.
Yeah, you have a job as a crowd member to laugh.
To make me feel better about myself.
Hello.
That's why we're here.
That's what this podcast is for.
I cannot afford therapy. That's why I'm on the stage.
Hello. Does the audience know how to laugh?
I sound like Seinfeld when I said that.
If you're an audience member, give us a good laugh right now, and just so you know what you should be doing. A good hearty laugh.
You should be laughing during this podcast.
Yes, and that's what you should do when you go to an open mic, when you go to a show.
I'm imagining just a standing ovation right now.
Exactly.
In my brain when I'm recording this podcast.
Comedy clubs always look so great from pictures of the comedian on the stage.
Yeah.
You know, like it has the name behind him. You're like, oh, this place is legit. It says Zanies or
This looks professional.
Crazies or Improvies.
Yeah, and it was the Comedy Catch.
Yeah.
It's like, it sounds almost like an old timey.
Right.
You know, like it's a cool name, and and the club looks nice, and you go in there and you're like, whoa, this place is, it has nice. Like it has lights and it has like an upstairs balcony, and it's like, whoa, this is like a real club. And then you go in there and it's not what you're expecting a lot of times.
No, it's some open, reformed, maybe was a theater before.
Yeah, it's a big room. That's the hard.
Yeah, it's a big room.
Which is not great. Not what you'd like for a stand-up show. Like high ceilings are bad. I've learned. And so that was, we learned the hard way that just because it has a nice sign doesn't equal good comedy.
No.
Fun fact. That's
Just
the one fact of the day for the Funniest Podcast.
yeah. Good pictures, probably bad location.
Not necessarily.
Right.
But in Chattanooga, that is, no, I'm not going to disparage Chattanooga for that.
No, like Laughing Skull has a great backdrop, but when you go in there, it's kind of weird. You're like, this is kind of small.
Yeah,
as an audience member.
It's way smaller than you think.
Yeah.
But oddly, that makes it, I think we're spoiled by it.
Yeah, it's a good location.
Because it's a perfect spot for it.
Right.
And you're like, and it's like accidentally the best place to do stand-up.
Yeah.
But, I guess the show itself was like, it was still nice. We did just like 5 or 6 minutes a piece, and it was just like, a good practice, and we got to do stuff that I normally don't get to do because I'm trying to do new jokes, and so I got to do some old ones because no one had heard them. So
that's always good when you've been working on something for a couple of years. Your open micers have heard it week in and week out, and they're sick of it. And then you get to try it on new people.
And you're like, wait, this is new to them. So you're like, you guys have no, and as far as the craft, I'm using it in quotes goes.
Air quotes, yeah.
As far as the craft goes, it is kind of nice to be like, well, this time I can not think about the jokes I'm telling, and I can work on the stage presence part.
Right.
And do all the presentation and all that stuff and work on all that.
Was it a good stage? Was it a good size?
Yes, it was a good, it's like, the thing is, it looks, when you walk in, you're like, oh, well, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Because the stage is like, it's a nice raised platform stage with lights and the backdrop, and it all looks like it should work.
Yeah.
And then it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, at least in the times that I've been there, I've had better sets there before. I've had pretty decent sets before, but yeah, it was just this one night. It was a little rough. They were tight, tight crowd. So
Were there people next to the stage, or was everyone backed up?
no, they were all in front of. Pretty much everybody was seated right in front of the stage.
Okay, that's better.
But it was a big room, so it still kind of felt a little empty.
Empty.
At times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I would say all of us. I'd say out of the three of us that went up, between me, Noel, and Miguel, I think Noel probably did the best out of the three of us, and me and Miguel were like pretty even. And then yeah, so we headed over to Barley after that, and that's the weirdest thing about stand up is that we went to this show at this place called Barley, which is a bar called Barley, and that show maybe had. Like I said, there was probably 30, 40 people at the club. There's maybe 10 at Barley. And astronomically better show. Which is, you'd never guess, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
So 10 people are better than 30 people sometimes. Were they drunker?
No, they were just in a smaller room. Just packed in, I hate to say it. It was just more conducive for it.
Yeah, intimacy breeds comedy.
I think so.
Something there.
Something like that, yeah. I think Joe Rogan's probably said that once or twice.
Yeah. So if you could do a show in this apartment, well, we may be in an apartment. I don't want to give it up, this location.
This mansion.
Yeah, this mansion, tiny mansion, but this one room, then it could be hilarious.
I think so. You know, if you set it up with the lights and all the accoutrement, then I bet it would be it could be.
That's something, right? In other cities, apartment shows.
Yeah, apparently that's like a very like Brooklyn style of comedy. Apparently, from what I've heard, there's been apartment shows here. I think. I remember that was pre-COVID, but there was an apartment show run by a comic. I actually haven't seen him recently, but he's a guy named Alec Khan. He was like he was a cool guy. I never got to go to it, but yeah,
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but he used to run like every other month. He'd have like a apartment show, and I never went. But I can only assume that it was
fantastic.
Yeah,
sounds great. Like getting someone's apartment and be like, "Hey, do you want 30 people here?" Sure. How many bathrooms do you have? Half.
Yeah. We don't have a shower. So
yeah.
That's on you.
There's a half bath. So
if it gets smelly in here, that's kind of on you guys. Don't want to point any fingers, but sorry about that.
Well, that's good. So what mics are coming up this week? I mean, has the Delta variant stopped anything this coming week? It has changed some things.
I think so. I don't know. I know that there's a lot of places I don't think anything's necessarily shut down. There's just been some new precautions that have been added. Like I think
they're going back to wiping the mics in some places.
Yeah, like you have to wear a mask inside, and you have to prove that you've been vaccinated, all that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know Star Bar is now proved to be you have to prove that you've been vaccinated.
Wow, for audience in?
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's to get a ticket, you have to prove that you have to bring your vaccine card or bring a picture of it or something.
Well, let me just tell you about the government right now.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. I want to hear all your opinions.
I just don't want to carry around my vaccination card. I don't want to.
I don't actually. I think I lost mine.
Oh, did you take a picture of it?
I did.
Okay.
I have a picture of it, so that's what I've been using. But I'm kind of like, is this? I am always nervous. Like, is this gonna work? Because I don't know if.
Yeah.
You know, because like it seems like an easy thing to fake if it's just a picture of it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you can white out your name and put someone else's, right?
Yeah, and just you could Photoshop anything.
Well, maybe you can sell that. People have been buying vaccination cards for $400 to $600.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been missing out. I need to buy one.
I got $400 to $600 right now. If you guys would please email us, it's funny.
If you could donate to our GoFundMe for
my Indiegogo for a vaccination card.
Yeah, if you could just support us on GoFundMe.
Much cheaper just to get the thing, but if you want to get
we're crowdsourcing a vaccination card.
Yeah. I wish the card was more like a wallet size. It's just too big.
Yeah, I feel like it's disrespectful to fold it.
Yeah, I wish they had gone back pre-pandemic and like thought about this a lot. Like, okay, we're gonna have vaccination cards. Maybe we should make them the size of a wallet. But then they didn't think about that, and so like they just had this big old influenza
All they
thing,
had,
SARS.
they couldn't think about this. All they were like,
Yeah,
oh, we're just gonna cure this virus.
yeah.
Ugh, come on, guys.
They didn't think about who's going to carry this around or how they're going to carry it around,
Thanks, Obama.
and others.
And definitely not Obama.
Yeah.
The only thing that was clearly not Obama's fault.
Well, it's probably Reagan's fault.
Yeah, it was probably.
That's old enough, so I think Republicans and Democrats would just be like, sure,
Yeah, why not?
it's a Reagan thing.
This is definitely a trickle down the virus.
So the Olympics are done.
They are done.
I don't think I watched any.
I caught glimpses of stuff.
Oh yeah, you got some of the. Did we talk about gymnastics last
I
time?
think so. I think that was in the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught some of the gymnastics. I don't think the men's team won a medal again, but I mean, hey, 5th place.
You're on the board.
Could be worse.
You're on the board, right? If you're 5th.
I don't know. I don't know if that's. I know you don't get a medal, but
Right.
because only winners get medals.
Well,
It's untrue. Actually,
untrue. Yeah, silver and bronze aren't winners, right?
I guess not. You're a loser if you get a bronze. That's the loser medal.
They were talking about satisfaction. That's just when I was reading like satisfaction. You're more depressed to get a silver medal than a bronze, because if you have a silver one, you feel like you missed out
Oh, because you were closer.
just by a little.
to the goal.
If you get a bronze, you're like, oh, at least I'm lucky to be here.
Yeah, you know what's funny though is I didn't know they got paid if they won. Like you get a bunch
Money?
of money. Yeah, you get paid. I was always wondering what the motivation was for Olympic athletes to like do it, and I always thought I was like, is it sponsored? I mean,
That
like,
was Wheaties. Like, don't you get that at the end?
yeah, if you win, if you're then you get the Wheaties box or something.
Right.
But apparently, if you win like silver in the shot put or whatever, or like the hurdles, and you come in 2nd place, you win like $300,000 or whatever.
Really?
Yeah, it's a decent bit of money you win.
Then does that go to your coach too? Is that personal?
I mean, if it's up to me, it's not. That's all mine. But
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah. You have coaches. I guess. Do you pay the coaches out of your own pocket until?
until the day comes. I mean, I assume you pay them before the games start. I feel like maybe there's some government like subsidy funding. I'm just saying a bunch of words. I don't know what they mean, but
They sound big and
sounded like I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
For a minute there.
The Olympic Committee, like it sounds.
As soon as I stumbled on the word subsidy, everyone's like, "Ah, he's lost it."
Sorry, guy.
Everyone listening is like, "Ah,
Andrew, no,
yeah, you're
no.
overstepping. You're overstepping your IQ."
We can edit that out.
Let's please edit that out. That's 25,
Yes.
46 timestamp.
Yeah, 18.
18, whatever. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I didn't know that you get paid if you win, and that's apparently a huge motivation for a lot of
And that's for
the athletes.
everything. Is that for individual and sports?
I know it's for individual. I'm not sure about the team.
Morgan,
They'll have to split it.
Morgan, do you have that information? Morgan's going to check for us.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Morgan.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about some open mic etiquette.
Oh, that's right.
Do you?
It's a comedy podcast.
Yeah. Would you ever make fun of the location of a mic?
I would never do that ever. I would never say something about the location.
Yeah. Would you ever be like, this place is a dump and I hate it?
I wouldn't in the future. I couldn't possibly ever.
I think it's.
I don't recall doing it in the past. No, I've definitely done that.
I think you have to play the room though. Like if you notice something about the place.
Yeah, it is mean though. Like I can objectively say that like I've done it.
Yeah.
Where you say like, this sucks, and then it's not even worth doing because like the host, if it sucks and the host knows it.
Yeah.
I mean, the host usually knows. They're like, yeah, this isn't going well. Just do your time.
It's free, especially if you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
If you didn't buy a beer, it's free time.
But this was a unique situation where I don't think the host had any idea that it was going badly.
No.
Or it was like it was a unique situation where like it was like I think he was having fun, but everyone else wasn't.
Yeah. I would say usually you don't bash the place.
Generally speaking, yeah, I would say don't do it unless you're okay with not going back there.
Yeah, I mean, there are some things where you can make fun of it. If you built some rapport with the audience, I say you can do it.
Yeah.
If you notice,
Or just you have to be clear with the host. Like, is it okay if I
bash.
bash the place? Because I have done that. I actually, you know what's funny is I used to do. That's a good lesson. Is if you I've done it before and crushed like.
Yeah.
Where I was like, this place is disgusting. It's awful. There's roaches everywhere. It smells like cigarette smoke. It's awful. I've done it before and it worked, and it was like.
Yeah.
Worked more than once where I would go back there every week because I'd crush because I would just
What is this? Is that a cat?
I think that's a cat again.
Is that a child or cat?
It better not be a child. I don't want any children.
Wow.
Hopefully that doesn't get picked up. I mean,
Well, if you have a child that you want to sell to us, go to Funniest Podcast.
I'm not funding that. That's not going to be on our Indiegogo.
No. Okay, so yeah, I agree. There is some things where you can call out a place.
Yeah.
You have to play the show that's in front of you. A lot of times people say that, like, don't play the show in your head, play the show that's in front of you that you're given.
Right, and it is a risk if you do it. Like, don't be surprised if it backfires on you and the crowd goes, "I was having fun," you know, like especially if the crowd's having fun,
right?
And it's just you that's having a bad day, then that can be a real. That's why I say generally don't do it unless you're sure it's gonna work.
Yeah, I would say like if you built some rapport with the audience, then you can start to make fun. Like, what is up with insert derogatory comment?
Yeah.
I think the other part of that too is for etiquette. The host should have some sort of standards about watching the show too, about keeping up with the show.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they have to listen to you, but it's one of those things where if a host walks out,
the host has, I feel
multiple times.
Yeah, I feel like the host should have a little bit of responsibility to keep it moving along
right
smoothly as possible. You know, the job of the host is to make sure the show goes as smoothly as it can.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, the host doesn't always do that, I don't think. And it is what it is. But, like, you also have to understand that even when that does happen, it is your decision to be there in the first
Correct.
place. So if you don't like it, you can just leave. You don't have to.
You can leave.
Yeah, you don't have to go up, and you don't have to say, you know. So it is a privilege to kind of be like, all right, yes, I am getting stage time.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like it, it is like technically you should be.
So that's the bigger lesson here. You're right. Forget what I said. That's the
Yeah.
bigger lesson here.
Yeah, everything you said, forget it.
Yeah.
Throw it out.
If you don't like it, leave. I mean, this applies to your job, your marriage, your credit cards. If you
Give
don't
up.
like them, yeah, give up and just
don't even bother anymore.
leave. Go to, there's Canada, there's other countries.
The country of losers.
Yeah.
Where losers go.
I don't-
Montreal or Ottawa.
Yeah, I don't think that's is Canada losers? What did they lose
No,
at?
I think they're beating us now. They're killing us.
There's Greenland. I don't know.
There's Greenland. There's Iceland,
Iceland.
which is green and Greenland's full of ice.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah. There's fun. Won't they pay like $10,000 to go have sex in Greenland or something? Or Iceland?
I mean,
There's a stipend if you go there and marry and stay there.
oh, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Check it out.
So the Funniest Podcast next episode will be live from Iceland.
Yeah, we'll both be married there.
We'll both be married, and then we're gonna have our wives on the
Vibes.
pod.
Yeah.
Our wives with names that are too long to pronounce.
What other etiquette type things, best practices should we talk about for open mics?
I do think I used to go back and forth on this one, but the whole buying a drink and supporting the venue is a tough one because, part of you, especially me, I don't drink alcohol
Right.
at all, but that's how the show is happening. Is that they need the comedians to buy drinks to keep the show, for the host to be able to
Correct.
keep doing the show. And if you're not buying drinks, then you're just kind of like, and then you bomb. It's like everyone at the show is kind of like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, you're just
We need money.
wasting.
You're not wasting time, but it is kind of like, it is a little selfish to just take advantage of that place and not support it a little bit, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
But like I think if I don't think you have to, give them $8 every time you go. But I think every once in a while, if you go there multiple times, I try and do every other time I go to a venue, I try and buy something that's food, or I try and tip on a water or Sprite or whatever. And I think that's a good practice to just get in the habit of doing because
Right. I think that brings me back to the what I was talking about earlier. Like I would pay for a mic where if I knew where I was going up, like 8:30, I'd be like, okay, I'll give you $10 to go up at 8:30. I'll show up at 8:15.
I think most people would.
You know, but now it's what time did you get to some of these mics? 6:30.
Yeah, I think I got to Jimmy. Oh, I got to the place that shall be not be named.
No, well, just because you went to multiple mics last week.
Yeah, I got to a few of them, and I always try and get there as early as I can because that's people, you know. The whole thing is when the list drops, it's sort of like an honor system. Whoever's there first is kind of has the right to
Put the name up
put
first.
their name up first, and or wherever they'd like to go, just
Yeah.
because they spent the most time there and put in the most effort to
Yeah,
get their spot.
sometimes people they get there first put their name second or third because
Yeah,
they don't want to break.
I don't either. I mean, like, I'll put my name second or third, but
Yeah.
I'm never first. I mean, or not never first. I'm never, like, eighth or what,
Yeah.
like, or sixth or whatever. Like, people think there's a sweet spot for an open mic, and there just isn't.
No,
It's just, if you do well, you do well, and if you don't,
Yeah.
you don't. I think, and usually, like, that list will be 12 people deep, and all of them will be filled except for one.
hmm
And I'm the guy that takes one every time.
yeah,
'Cause I don't mind it.
it's much better than waiting till 14th.
Yeah, for sure. Some people prefer to wait till 14th. I don't.
I don't know if they're drinking
Probably. They're probably like, I'll have 2.5 beers. and-
martini.
Yeah.
That's a drink, right?
Yeah. That's in alcohol. That's
Yeah.
one alcohol.
Is it just one alcohol?
Yeah, that's one unit of alcohol.
Yeah. I will have one martini.
I'll have one alcohol, please.
I'll have one.
Good
Yeah.
sir. I will.
Are you here for the open mic? I'll have one alcohol,
I
sir.
will have one alcohol, please.
Yeah. So if you're under 21, like just say that, and they'll
And
be like,
coming right up, Mr. Businessman, sir.
yeah, this guy knows. This guy knows.
This guy's a businessman. You ever see BoJack Horseman?
Yes.
That's like the kids in the trench coat that no one ever finds out that they're adult,
Yeah.
they're not an adult. He's like, my name is Vincent Adult Man. That's me at these open mics, just like,
Hello.
hello, I'd like one alcohol, please. I'm
And-
here for the open mic night comedy show.
I wish some of these places had better food.
The food is usually good. It's just greasy. That's the only.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't want to eat. If you go to a couple open mics, you're like, oh, I had to eat more greasy food or more alcohol.
More alcohol. You're destroying your body either way. It's rare when you're like, oh, a nice salad at this
Yeah.
open mic comedy show.
I mean,
at this Irish
comedy.
bar.
Yeah, comedy's already destroying you mentally,
Yeah.
you know, and emotionally.
That's the sacrifice you make as
Yeah.
a stand-up comedian. It's just the destroying of both your body and your mind.
Soul. Yeah. Any last bits of wisdom before we close this out?
Donate to the Funny-ish Indiegogo to support our
Move to Iceland.
move to Iceland and or Greenland, whichever's cheaper. And thank you for listening.